What's up guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kevin, one of the Malaysia running YouTuber, and finally Kuala Lumpur Standard Chart Marathon route, full marathon route, half marathon route, 10 km, 5 km, kid dash, 2 km, kid dash, 800 km, kid dash, all the route finally released. And all the while when we are talking about how's the route, where we're going to run through, the route is almost identical with the previous route for the full marathon and the half marathon. For 5 km, 10 km, we will talk about later on. But for these two routes, almost similar. The most similar is the half marathon route. It's almost similar than the last year. But we're going to talk about the full marathon in the same time, and we're going to mingle around with the half marathon route. Since 2 months ago, we know starting and ending will be two different places. The starting will be behind the Sogor, that is the T junction, directly below the LRT Bandar Raya. That is the T junction, that is the starting point. And the ending will be the Stadium Merdeka, that is around 2.5 to 2.8 km away from the starting point. The Stadium Merdeka, that is the ending from 2024 and 2025. The first key difference is the starting point. The starting point will be moved from Dataran Merdeka, in front of the clock tower. We're going to move to behind the Sogor KL, that is around 900 meters. So you move up to the starting point. So that is the first key difference. The second key difference is 2024, when we reach to the T junction of the Jalan Sultan Ismail, we're going to make a left turn and make another left turn down to the Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman. But 2025, we will run the whole Jalan Raja Lawal all the way to the Jalan Sultan Azlan Shah to the end. Then we make a U-turn below the Chow Gate and Memorial Station. We make a left turn towards to the Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman downwards. So we're not going to make a fast turn on the front. We're going to run until the end of the Jalan Raja Lawal before make a turn below the Memorial Station. This is the second point. So the third point is once we reach to that point. So once we reach the third point is when we reach to the Jalan Sultan Ismail Junction. Last year we just going down to the turn around the Dang Wangi. So the Hanifa department store there. So we're going to make a turn around for the 2024. Meanwhile, for the 2025, it's a very straight cut. Once after the Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman, we make a left turn to the Jalan Sultan Ismail. So straight to Jalan Sultan Ismail, and we cut off the Dang Wangi turning around that area. So we won't turn around the Hanifa store over there. So we straight to the Jalan Sultan Ismail. We're going straight to the pavilion side, that we're going to pass by the Standard Chart building. When along the route that we're running on the Jalan Sultan Ismail, we'll pass by the Standard Chart building, and we're going to make our right turn to the Jalan Bukit Bintang. It's the same route as last year, that where all the massage center located, all the massage center along the Jalan Bukit Bintang. If you want to detour, maybe you can detour over there. Then we turn down, and we turn down left to the Times Square before we make a climb back up to the Pavilion KL. When we reach to the Pavilion KL, last year we're going to run a bit further down before we pass by the Pavilion KL, before we make a U-turn. But this year, once we pass by the whole Pavilion KL, not far in front, we'll make a U-turn again. So this is more to adjusting the distance along the road. Previously, we run past at least 2 junctions before we make a U-turn. This year, we will make a U-turn on the first junction. We pass by the Pavilion KL, we will run to the Jalan Sultan Ismail. Last year, we ran directly until we reach the Jalan Pang, we make a right turn. So this is the fifth point. Last year, we reached to the point that the cross section between the Jalan Empang and Jalan Sultan Ismail before we turn. But this year will be slightly different. We will turn at the Jalan Pyramid. One junction earlier, we turn over, then we pass by the Petronas KLCC. So we will pass by the Surya KLCC, all the building rather than just on the front. So we definitely will pass by the main door, and we make a sharp right turn towards to the Jalan Empang until the end before we make a turn to the Arklay. Once we reach to the Arklay and Duke Highway, basically is a same road. We're going to run the Arcle until the end, make a U-turn, run back to the other end before we go to the MRR2. During the whole Arcle, there's a lot of rolling flyover, so be prepared on that route. Once we go down to the MR2, then we run around 2 km before we go for the highest climb of the route. So we will go into the Duke Highway around 25 km. The distance a bit shorter. Last year is 26, but this year is 25 because the ending is a bit longer and the U-turn is a bit shorter. So the route, the marker will be jack up a bit. So on the 25 km is the highest climb of the route that is on the Duke Highway. So we run past the whole Duke Highway with a lot of up and down along the road, all the rolling highway along Duke Highway. If you look at the map at the 24 km here, there seems like a tail over here. This seems like to adjust the distance back to the actual distance. But if I plan on the GPS road, it seems like going for the over distance. But this seems like a adjust tail, make a U-turn, run further around 200 meters, make a adjustment before we go down to the Jalan Kuching. Then after the Jalan Kuching, that's where the place that we're really familiar. We run all the way down, all the full gas down to the straight. Around 28 to 29 kilometers, around 38 to 39 kilometers, that is the point that we're going to meet with the half marathon. Full marathon will be meet with the half marathon at this point. So we will run the same route from 39 all the way to the finish with the half marathon. So we share route with the half marathon all the way to the end. So there's a one more difference over here is at the 41 km, the last year around 42, that is the different, the complex Dayapumi U-turn. This year no longer have that U-turn, so we run straight all the way down towards the road to the Stadium Merdeka. It's a bit up and down on that side, but once we reach until the end there, then we're going to make a U-turn uphill because Stadium Merdeka is located on the elevated area. So we're going to make a U-turn before the BHP Petronas. So make a U-turn and there's a one very small climb on the last 2 to 300 kilometers. So we have to climb on that hill before we go into the Stadium Merdeka. Once we go into the Stadium Merdeka, we are not going for the right side and we're going for the left turn. So we're going to run the follow clockwise. Basically, when we go into track, we always run reverse clockwise, but for this finishing is the follow clockwise. So once we finish, we go in, turn left, we run on the left, there's around roughly around 200 meter dash to the finishing line. So we're going to dash and finish directly in front of the stage. So this is the full marathon route. So how about half marathon? Half marathon is starting similar with the full marathon. All the route that we're going to run is similar until 16 km. 16 km where full marathon will make a U-turn and the Arcle continue the other Arcle. For half marathon, they will get out from the 16 km and turn out to the Jalan Sultan Ismail. Without the last year, they have to run up and down again. But for this year half marathon, you just get out from there and turn to the Jalan Sultan Ismail all the way straight towards to the Jalan Kuching. So this is some of the different for the half marathon the route. And for the finishing, you will run together with the full marathon towards to the stadium and finish in the same place. But one thing is the entrance of the stadium is quite small. It's around 1.5 car size. So I going to foresee that area will be very congestion, especially when all the runner going for that one, and that is the best place to view the PNB, the Merdeka 118 tower. So some of the runner might be slow down and take some photo. So better not to slow down because the route is very congestion over there and might be very crowded. So continue, keep running until to the finishing point before you stop for finishing line. Because for this place, if you see the route, the map of the event day, you can go back to the other side to take the photo on the track with the tower. How about 10K and 5km? So 10K and 5K, you also will starting at the same place at the full marathon and half marathon that is behind the Sogo. Once you start for the 10km, you run straight to the Jalan Sultan Ismail. So you run to the Jalan Sultan Ismail, you make some turn around the Dang Wangi there before you heading back to the Jalan Sultan Ismail. Then you head down to the Jalan Kuching. So you run down, up and straight to the Jalan Kuching. But once you reach to Jalan Kuching, you run down, you will go to the roundabout. So there you will be going for some hills. So you have some hill workout, then you run around the Bank Negara and go up to the Bukit Aman, then come down to the Jalan Kinabalu. So you go with some hill walks. It's not as hilly as the double hill, but you will run through some of the hills over there. So once you go there, the Padang Merbok Hills, once you come down, then you will head back to the Jalan Kinabalu and you will straight run to Jalan Majarela to the Stadium Merdeka. So how about the 5km? The 5km it seems a bit much more easy. So you're starting at the same point. Once you straight up to the Jalan Sultan Ismail, you make a left turn to the Jalan Kuching, and you run down to the roundabout. But once you run down to the roundabout, you make some extra turns over to the left side because this is to cover back to the 5km distance. And you're heading to the Jalan Kinabalu and Jalan Majarlela. So for 5km, the road seems quite flat, except the last part, the Jalan Daya Bumi there, and going up to the Stadium Merdeka. But from the starting, it's quite flat. So for the Kid Dash, the 2km and the 800km is much more easy. If you look at the 2km, you'll be running around the track, 400-meter track, 5 times. For the 800 is 2 times. So you will be running around the loop of the track. If you're bringing your kids, just make sure that don't block people because you're running around the road around 5 times. So you just need to take care of yourself and other people running around. It's more to mutual respect running around the track. How to go to the starting and finishing line? For me, I really very clear what I want to do with it because I'm not going to drive my car. I doesn't have motor, so I will park my car at the nearest LRT station and I'm going to take the Sri Petaling line. So from Sri Petaling line, I will take the LRT from my home all the way to Masjid Jamek or Bandar Raya. Depends which station they open. So most probably I will park my car somewhere, then I will take the train towards these 2 stations. Then I will walk to the starting point and I will drop my baggage on that area. So once I drop everything, once I finish run, I will end at the Stadium Merdeka, and after I collect my luggage, everything, I will walk back to the Hang Tuah station that is I think less than a kilometer walk. So I will just walk back there. If I can't walk, I can just hop on to the LRT station just in front, the monorail station, and it will go to the monorail Hang Tuah. So basically, it's a public transport for me. If you plan to drive car, so you better plan properly where to park your car and how to exit from the place. Either you want to near from the starting point or you want to near to the ending point. So plan properly. So for me is I will take the public transport so that I can ease off my driving and parking. So this is my quick tour for the KL Standard Chart full marathon, half marathon, 10km, 5km, 2km and 800-meter loop running. Quick preview on the road and breakdown. See what's the difference. So I don't think have elevation almost the same as last year. I don't think have much more reason to say that this year is much more hilly than last year because the road almost the same. So are you guys ready? Has your training ready for it? If not, now it's time to carbo load, eat more food, and get ready for the race. And remember, don't use new thing on the race day. See you guys at the starting line. Bye.